I was once a terrible speaker. I was shy, I was bullied, I couldn't speak without rambling. It was so bad. I almost dropped out of school because my worst fear was to speak in front of public. We had this drama class. I went and knocked on the director's door. I said, "Sir, I am not doing this. Put 0 on my scorecard." He said, "I've never seen that." I said, "I don't give a fuck, I'm not doing it." And I didn't. Next thing you know, a couple of years ago, I won Toastmasters Speaker of the Year. Now the question is, what the heck happened? Ever since that moment, I launched Born to Speak on its way to become the #1 public speaking community on school. I've helped hundreds of people with their speaking, sales, content. What the heck happened? Well, the answer is 5 simple steps, 5 simple habits that I'm gonna share with you today, starting with the easiest to apply, literally starting today, to the most profound, life-changing one that when you understand could completely flip your life over. Simple habit number 1. A lot of you guys already spend some of your time reading, some of your time journaling, doing all these little self-improvement habits. Well, how about you combine all of them and you turn it into what I call video journaling? Back when I was first introduced to the world of self-improvement, I had this idea that came to me. How about I would sit down in my parents' car in the garage for 15-20 minutes per day where I would record in English, because English is my second language, it's not even my first one, my summary of the day. What did I learn? What happened to me? That way I could practice English. That was the goal, that I can practice speaking English. Next thing you know, what ended up happening is not only did I learn English, but there was a side effect, a symptom that I didn't expect. What happened is seeing myself speak, looking at my body language, listening to the recording after, I started noticing little things about the way I was speaking. Next thing you know, I started being addicted to that shit. I'll be looking at myself in the camera and starting to feel myself, starting to be like, yo, that's a charismatic guy. Oh, I like what you did here. I started developing my sensitive acuity to be able to see the little details that really make good speaking versus bad speaking. Next thing you know, today I do that with hundreds of people. That's what I do all day long. I review people speaking, which, by the way, if you want me to give you personalized advice on how you speak, personalized feedback, what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, you'll find all the information on how to do that in the description. The point is this. By doing this, what ended up happening is I discovered the power of what I call compressed growth. People say it takes 10,000 hours to master a new skill. I say that's bullshit. It takes 10,000 iterations. It takes 10,000 reps with quality feedback that you can iterate on. That's when you learn the fastest. That's when you can compress time. So those were all reps that, just like an athlete, when it's game time, you do your thing, but then you review it. Then it's tape time. Then you review the tape of the game. That's how I see speaking. Same thing. Now, second habit, it's very related. I don't know about you guys. Maybe some of you are already doing it. Every time you're communicating with someone on a platform that allows voice message, stop using texting. Whenever you can, send voice messages. I used to live with a roommate who was also in the speaking game. He was also in the dating game. Like, he was a dating coach, and so communication was very important for him. And I remember one time we were talking about that. Well, actually, one time I heard him send a voice message and then listen to his voice message again. And I said, bro, are you telling me like I'm not the only one doing that? Are you telling me I'm not alone in this? He goes, yeah. Every time I send a voice message, I listen to it. And then I realized, holy shit, that means it's actually a skill that the top communicators do over and over again. Next thing you know, I started having clients and they were starting to tell me, yes, like that was one of the things that helped me the most on my journey. It's so simple. It's so simple. Stop sending text messages. Literally send voice messages instead and then listen to it. Listen to it. It becomes addictive, just like the video journaling. It brings in reps, but this is what I call net time, compressing time, no extra time. It's something you would have done anyways that becomes a high leverage 2-in-1 practice. All right, now we're going into some deeper stuff. We're going into some fabric of reality type stuff. Let me explain. If I was to ask you, what is war? What is religion? What is the common pattern? What is a prophecy? What is a big brand? It's all a story. Storytelling is the most powerful tool in speaking you could possibly have. When you look at a guy like Andrew Tate, when you look at a guy like Tony Robbins, the best of the best speakers in the world, you look at their stuff, 80% of their teachings, 80% of their content is storytelling. If I didn't start my video talking about how I used to struggle and then I won Speaker of the Year with this proof, this glory, this achievement, which is a hero's journey, you guys wouldn't give a fuck about what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, think about it this way. If you run back every single habit that I shared so far, what did I immediately back it up with? A story of how I discovered it. Because that makes it real. People don't care about information if it's not backed up with emotion. Just like in sales, people buy with emotion and then justify it with logic. Storytelling is one of the main things I practice with people in my workshops. When I get them on stage, I say, okay, I don't know, Jeremy. I don't have any Jeremy in my school. I just invented that name. Jeremy, get on the stage, share with us a story that gave you a big lesson in the past month. Give us a story right there, right now. Why? Because the skill of being able to share stories is the most influential skill you could have. You can literally shape reality. You shape reality. Human beings think and process reality in terms of stories. Why? Because the past and the future are both products of our imagination. Think about it. The past doesn't actually exist anymore. The future never actually existed. It is a product of our imagination. But the way we imagine is through a story of before, now, after. That's how we make sense of reality. If you can shape someone's story, you shape their reality. If someone believes the story you want them to believe and has the whole belief system, which is a story that you want them to have, they will do anything you want them to do. This is the power of storytelling and influence. If you want me to review content that you've posted where you've shared a story, you'll find a link in the description that will show you the exact next steps to make that happen. Now, habit number 4. The next one is very interesting because it took me a lot of time of studying the world's greatest speakers for me to find a common pattern that I don't see anyone else talk about. None of the trainings that I have witnessed pay attention to that one, and yet it's the biggest one. I call it the flow. And what I mean by flow is the variety that you bring in your speaking. That's when you listen to someone like Tony. They could speak so loud and go so intense, and they can speak fast, and then they would say something so smooth. And sometimes it's a bit exaggerated. I listen to his audio tapes. It's exaggerated. It's like a roller coaster, but that's what people love. That's what makes it magnetic. That's what makes you hooked. If you notice how I speak, there's a lot of variety in my voice. There's variety in my body language, in my movements. That's what's keeping you engaged. Yes, my editor is cooking right now. He's putting some edits in. I know, but at the same time, you wouldn't have stayed that long if it wasn't for the variety. If it wasn't for the dance. That's when speaking becomes a dance. So sure, you can be a powerful speaker without having that. Like Alex Hormozy, like Sam Ovens. They are sought after speakers without having that. But this brings you the next level. Now I painted you guys a picture of what great flow looks like, but what is the bad type of flow, the worst type of flow? Well, it was how I used to speak. The first time I tried recording a video course, when I was editing it myself after, I realized there are so many filler words. It was repulsive. I couldn't even listen to it myself, so I had to take the time to cut out and edit out all the filler words. And the pain was so high, I told myself I'm never going to use filler words ever again. And if you guys have noticed, from the beginning of this video, there might have been 1 or 2, maybe that I didn't catch. I almost use 0 filler words. Same thing for all of the greatest speakers in the world. The little sauce I'm gonna give you guys for the salespeople out there is that flow in sales is about mirroring your prospect. If sales is a transfer of trust and something that makes people trust you is being relatable, oh, that's one of my people. Oh, he's just like me. Well, how about speaking just like them? Matching the flow of the person. If the person speaks very fast, this person speaks low, the tonality, the body language, mirroring that subtly creates an unconscious feeling of, it's my tribe. It's my person. They trust you. They open up to you more. And when they open up to you more, what happens is you have the truth. You have leverage to actually find the solution that is the best for them, to serve them best. And when you serve them best, you make the most money. If you are in sales and you want me to review particularly your sales calls from a perspective of the way you speak, the tonalities that you use, you can also use the same link that I've been talking about. You'll find all the next steps. Now, last but not least, the final step. This is the cherry on top. This is the greatest skill I have ever developed as a speaker. It is what has created opportunities in my life that honestly I didn't deserve at that moment. It has been the key to all the doors in my life when it comes to business, personal life, love even. I have gotten into places, environments, opportunities that were absolutely out of my league at that moment in time because of that one skill. And that is speaking with what? Speaking with conviction. Influence is a transfer of conviction. You look at guys like Andrew Tate, they speak with so much conviction. What happens is it almost bypasses the analytical part of your brain. That's what I call hypnotic speaking. It's the authority bias. What is hypnosis? Well, if we assume that influence is a transfer of conviction, a transfer of belief, what is the biggest problem when you transfer a belief to someone? Is their resistance. They have a wall, they're afraid. They're afraid of the unknown, they're afraid of changing their opinion. Therefore, what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is a state of mind of least resistance. It is a state of mind where all resistance, the guards are down. And that's what authority bias does. See, our brains are trying to optimize at all times to get the most out of life with the least amount of risk possible. And if you were to double check every single thing you hear all day long, all the time, what would end up happening is, well, you won't do anything. You won't move. You won't make any decisions. You won't take any risks. Therefore, we optimize our time, our risk management, by looking at the level of status of the person. And the higher the status, the higher the authority, the more we unconsciously assume that what they're saying must be true. Therefore, it's not worth our time analyzing what they're saying. Our analytical brain shuts off. And then you go into more of a suggestible state where you listen, you're more influenced by them. But what's beautiful about speaking with conviction? It is the fastest hack to trigger authority bias. The fastest one. Yes, I showed you guys the certification. Yes, I told you I've helped many people make more money, grow their audiences. I've built a six-figure business. All these things I've shared with you. You guys see my background. You see it's fancy or whatever. It's the new building I moved in. I'm very proud. This is a slight shameless flex. All of these things matter, but ultimately, the reason you guys listen to me so far, the reason you guys assume that what I'm saying must be true is because of the conviction with which I speak. This is the fastest hack to trigger the authority bias. It's hypnotic speaking. There's a very specific way to build conviction the way you speak, and that is built on proof. It's what I teach all of my clients. As soon as they join, I start by saying, hey, why are you the fucking best in the world at what you do? Tell me, give me all the reasons. Say it with confidence, say it with conviction. And then they would leave the call, they would be fired up, and then they would text me and be like, yo, Danny, no fucking way. I don't know what you did to me. Matter of fact, when you click on the link to get personalized feedback from me, you're gonna see all my different testimonials. Some of them are like, Danny, I don't know what the heck happened, but I'm so fired up. I just closed this deal. I just closed my first deal. I don't even need a script. By the way, all of this is unscripted. Like this whole video, I just have my 5 points there. I don't use any scripts. All of it is built on improv and conviction. That's what I teach my people. That's how you build unconscious competence, I call it, which is the highest level of authority, which is also the highest level of influence. So if that's what you want to learn, you know where to find me. Otherwise, I'll be posting these more and more. I'm back in the game. I'm back at posting on YouTube. So I'll see you guys here very soon. Much love. Talk soon. Peace.